Number 3, fire! 3, fire! Number 1, fire! 1, fire!
And it is 1 p.m. in London, and this is the gun salute for the Queen from Hyde Park in London, as well as Edinburgh Castle, Stirling Castle, Woolwich, Cardiff, Belfast, Plymouth, Dover Castle, York and Gibraltar. There will be 96 salutes, one to mark each year of the Queen's life. Once again, this is a coordinated gun salute in honor of the late Queen. It's happening from Hyde Park in London, Edinburgh Castle, Stirling Castle, Woolwich, Cardiff, Belfast, Plymouth, Dover Castle, York and Gibraltar. In total, there will be 96 gun salutes, one to mark each year of the Queen's life. And after this, bells will toll at Westminster Abbey, St. Paul's Cathedral and Windsor Castle, and churches across the country are expected to follow suit. The country will remain in a state of mourning until the Queen's funeral, which is expected on Monday, September 19th. If you're just joining us, this is live in London, and this is in honor of the late Queen. Queen Elizabeth II, the longest reigning monarch, died at the age of 96 on the 8th of September 2022 at Balmoral Castle. And the Army and the Navy are paying tribute to the fallen Queen. So the gun salutes are happening at Hyde Park in London, as well as Edinburgh Castle, Stirling Castle, Woolwich, Cardiff, Belfast, Plymouth, Dover Castle, York and Gibraltar. There will be 96 salutes, one to mark each year of the Queen's life. I'm also told bells will toll at Westminster Abbey, St. Paul's Cathedral and Windsor Castle from noon, and churches across the country are expected to follow suit. The country will remain in a state of mourning until the Queen's funeral, which is expected to be on Monday, the 19th of September. The new monarch, King Charles III, is headed to London. He will meet the new Prime Minister, Liz Truss, before addressing the world at Buckingham Palace. Once again, if you're just joining us, this is WION World is One. This is live in London. And this is a tribute to the fallen Queen. The Army and the Navy are conducting a simulated gun salute in honor of the late monarch. The gun salutes are happening at Hyde Park in London, as well as Edinburgh Castle, Stirling Castle, Woolwich, Cardiff, Belfast, Plymouth, Dover Castle, York, and Gibraltar. There will be 96 salutes, one to mark each year of the Queen's life. Queen Elizabeth II, the longest reigning monarch, died at the age of 96 at Balmoral Castle on the 8th of September 2022. There is a new monarch. His name is King Charles III. And the King and the Queen Consort are headed to London. They will meet the new Prime Minister, Liz Truss, and then address the world at Buckingham Palace. Consequently, bells are tolling or are ringing at Westminster Abbey, St. Paul's Cathedral, and Windsor Castle, and churches across the country are expected to follow suit. The country, like I mentioned, will remain in a state of mourning until the Queen's funeral, which is expected on Monday, the 19th of September. Also at the House of Commons, members of Parliament, the Prime Minister paid their tribute, and they will be expected to sit in for a special sitting tomorrow at the House of Commons, and they will take allegiance to the new King. So we are currently expecting the new King to arrive in London, where he is expected to meet the new Prime Minister, Liz Truss, and after that meeting, head to Buckingham Palace and address the world. Tributes are continuing to pour in for the late monarch, while leaders are mourning the death of Queen Elizabeth II, once again the longest reigning monarch, who died at the age of 96 in Balmoral Castle on the 8th of September 2022. Let me give you a timeline of what is expected to happen until Tuesday. Tomorrow, it will be called D-Day 1, where the Accession Council will meet traditionally at 10 a.m. at St. James Palace in London to formally proclaim Charles as the new sovereign. The Accession Council will meet tomorrow, traditionally at 10 a.m. at St. James Palace in London, to formally proclaim Charles as the new sovereign. Charles is now King Charles III. On Sunday, which is now being called D-Day 2, the Queen's coffin is expected to be taken by road to the palace House in Edinburgh. Proclamations will be read in the Scottish, Welsh, and Northern Ireland devolved parliaments in Edinburgh, Cardiff, and Belfast. On Monday, D-Day 3, procession is expected along Royal Mile to Giles Cathedral. The service and the vigil of the princess by members of the royal family. The public may get the chance to file past the Queen's coffin, and I'm told there are a total of 2,000 tickets for the public, The House of Commons, still on Monday, and the House of Lords are expected to come together in Westminster for a motion of condolence, which the King could attend. On Tuesday, D-Day 4, the coffin is expected to be flown to London and is expected to rest at Buckingham Palace. A rehearsal for the procession of the coffin from Buckingham Palace to the Palace of Westminster will also take place on D-Day 4. D-Day 5, Wednesday. The Queen's lying in state is expected to begin in Westminster Hall, Operation Marquee. This will be followed by a ceremonial procession through London. It will last 4 full days. The Archbishop of Canterbury will conduct a short service following the coffin's arrival at Buckingham Palace. D-Day 6, that is on Thursday. Lying in state continues and rehearsal is likely to take place for the state funeral procession. D-Day 7, lying in state continues, ending on D-Day 9. And then D-Day 10, which is the funeral date, Monday the 19th of September. The Queen's state funeral is expected to take place at Westminster Abbey in central London. And we have to say here that the original plans are for the Queen's coffin to process on a gun carriage to the Abbey, pulled by naval ratings sailors using ropes rather than horses. This is the plan. So if you're just joining us and you're wondering what is happening, this is live in London. Gun salute for Queen Elizabeth II, the late. This is a synchronized gun salute happening from Hyde Park in London, as well as Edinburgh Castle, Stirling Castle, Woolwich, Cardiff, Belfast, Plymouth, Dover Castle, York, and Gibraltar. There will be 96 salutes, one to mark each year of the Queen's life. Bells are also tolling or ringing at Westminster Abbey, St. Paul's Cathedral, and Windsor Castle. They began tolling at noon, London time. Churches across the country are expected to follow suit. The country will remain in a state of mourning until the Queen's funeral, which is expected to be on Monday, 19th of September.
Number 2.
Once again, this is live in London. The 96 gun salute happening in synchronization from Hyde Park in London, as well as Edinburgh Castle, Stirling Castle, Woolwich, Cardiff, Belfast, Plymouth, Dover Castle, York, and Gibraltar. The 96 salutes, one to mark each year of the Queen's life. Also, bells are ringing at Westminster Abbey, St. Paul's Cathedral, and Windsor Castle from noon, and churches across the country are expected to follow suit. Flags are flying at half-mast.